Hey, glad to be back with you. Cowboy Ron here. Got about 4 or 5 things I picked up. Let's see what we call it. Oh, yeah. Uh, Indiana Movies was one of my favorite. Doing hat sold for $630,000. That's a lot of money. And I'm a big fan of Harrison Ford. He's a great actor, good entertainer. I'm a private pilot. He's a private pilot, so naturally I like him. But $600,000 for just one hat. I got some cowboy hats here. You can have them for less than that while they last. Okay. Vice President Harris's campaign has launched $370 million to be pushed into key battleground states. Now, I don't know if it's going to do any good or not. It won't hurt, probably. It just depends on what they push. But I think that she'll spend herself into the political cemetery. I think that she's the Democrats don't seem to implement the programs very well. And back in the in 2016, Donald Trump spent 6 cents for each vote, while Hillary and Bernie Sanders, I think, spent about $2.14. In other words, the Democrats, to give them a little bit of credit, they spend their money like it was like our money, and they don't spend theirs very well. Let's see. Yeah, also at the meeting, they're starting to have a lineup. Looks like the president and Jill will be there, along with Bill Clinton, I think Hillary. And that's on the first day now. And also, don't forget, Fox will be covering this. And I really love Fox. I love the celebrities. I find what they tell you, you can take it to the bank. And if they make a mistake, and everybody does, they're first to acknowledge it and do a correction. Now, they've also a lot of protesters out there in Chicago as businesses break for chaos on the eve of DNC. Well, they've had a lot of protests before, and they're advertising if they're ready for it, but we'll see. The police department is not as political as the people running. Okay, I'll go back. It's Biden and Dr. Jill will be speaking along with former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and they're going to be welcoming Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. I don't know much about him. I stay away from the liberals. And the programming begins Sunday night with Fox, so we're already into it. Now here's something. Ukraine says it has destroyed the second Russian bridge 45 minutes ago. Well, it's been longer than that. I've had it on my screen for 45 minutes. Give me a second here. It looks like Ukraine is going to tear Russia down by attrition. The bridges have to be replaced. The munitions have to be replaced. And I think the people in Russia is getting tired of not seeing our sons and daughters come back. Now, here's a story. I didn't go into it very deeply. Why Walgreens and CVS retail pharmacists are struggling. One of the reasons they're not getting the reimbursements as quick as they used to. And I think it's just a competition, and probably, and this is my opinion, they probably overexpanded. You got to remember, each corporation has people, and their total obligation to the company is to expand. If you work for McDonald's, you sell franchisees a different place to open up. And you may not care if the area is getting oversaturated. All you have to do is meet your quota, and the money keeps rolling in. Something kind of sad here. The two astronauts are still stuck in space, and they were only supposed to be there for 8 days. Some talk in the news article that it won't be until 2025, which is another 90, 100 days. And some of the spin-off is they're not stuck. Well, if they can't come home, what would you call it? I mean, okay, that's pretty well everything I found. Also, let me mention, I've been working on my blog site a little bit tonight. And if you want to go on it, it's got better graphics than the old one. It's CowboyRonNews.blog. CowboyRonNews.blog. And I have about 10 or 12 different categories: news, political news, church news, this day in history, which a friend of mine has helped me with that. But I added 3 more songs, and that's called Songs That Make My Day. And one is really one of my favorites, a novel song by Tex Ritter called Deck Cards. And basically, soldiers caught playing cards in church. He goes before the provost marshal. He explains his deck cards is really a Bible. It's worth looking. Another one of his Tex Ritter's famous songs was Hillbilly Heaven, and that's really unique. It mentions all the old-timey cowboys. Classifies Will Rogers as the cowboy philosopher. Then Riders in the Sky, which I'm a huge fan of them, they did one called Sidekick Heaven. And that's really clever also. Well, I've not wasted, but I've spent about 8.5 minutes of your time.